Hey guys, it's that time again. It is time for me to show you guys how I set up my February 2020 budget. Now, I already know that we're almost a week into February, so I'm late with this, but bear with me. I had some things going on, but I'm here and I'm showing you how I'm about to set up my February budget. Now, mind you, my budget is already set up since it is, into February already, but I still want to show you my process. And regardless of whether you've been budgeting for years like me or you're new to budgeting, make sure you watch this video in its entirety because I'm pretty sure you will gain some tips and tricks that I use that you can start using in your own budgeting process. Personally, I love to watch budgeting videos. I have gained so many tips from different YouTubers that I watch that helps my budgeting process much simpler and easier to understand. And if you're new here, I just want to say thank you for stopping by my channel and hanging out with me. My name is Ozella and my channel focuses on all things related to being intentional with money. So if you want to learn how to save money, make money, budget better, and get out of debt, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you're notified each time I upload a new video. Now I'm going to pause right quick so you can go ahead and do that. Alright, you subscribed? Good. I'm glad to have you. So my very first step in planning out my budget for the month is to look at the calendar. I look at the calendar to see if any dates stand out to me. So what I'm looking for is basically events that I have taken place within this month that is going to cause me to spend money. Because I want to make sure that I include those things into my budget so that it's not sprung on me and it's not a surprise and makes me fail at sticking to my budget for the month. So then what I do is add those different events to this notes section here right beside the calendar. Or sometimes I just put it on a sticky note just so that I have it in plain sight. So as I'm crafting my budget, I don't forget those things. So in February, I have my daughter's birthday. Which is on the 16th. And then we are moving at the end of this month. And then the kids' spring soccer is due. And that is due on the 8th. And then also their homeschool PE. And that's just due at the end of the month. So basically I can just put the 29th. Now that I have all of these events laid out here, the next thing I do is write out a list of all of my bills. And basically what I'm writing out is the bill name, when the due date is, and then how much I expect that bill to be. And of course, if I don't know exactly how much that bill is going to be, I'm estimating based on the previous months. So I totally forgot to tell you guys that for one, I make my own inserts, and I do this because I had a really hard time finding inserts and templates that will work for my family's finances. Pretty much all of the templates that I found didn't have enough lines for the amount of bills that my family has. So if you like any of the inserts that I use on my channel, make sure you keep your eyes peeled because I'll let you guys know when they are for sale. And then I also use the Happy Planner Classic Size Edition to house my budget planner. And I really like that they have the disc where I can pop these pieces of paper or these inserts in and out without having to worry about the paper ripping or things like that. But this is the insert that I use to capture all of my bills. And even though it looks like I'm starting from scratch, I'm really not, because what I'm going to do is use January's list to fill out this one. And what I'll do is I'll start the bills in chronological order, starting from the first paycheck in February. So the first time I'm paid in February is February 7th. So I'll start out listing all of the bills that are due, starting from February all the way up until the first time I'm paid in March, which happens to be March 6th. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me do that. I'll probably fast forward this for you. But when I'm finished, I'll come back really quick and show you guys what that looks like so that you can kind of get a visual. So this is what my bill list looks like. And again, I did start at the 7th because that's the first time that I'm paid in February. and I'll just keep going until I get to the end of the month. And I did mess up here, but I do, after the end of the month, I'll start back over. And then my first paycheck in March is going to be on the 6th. And so all of the bills that I'm covering to the 6th, I'm also going to include that in my list here as well. The next thing I do is I take this list here, and what I'll do is I'll transfer it over to this calendar. And pretty much I use this as a bill pay calendar. Now, I will say that some people will choose to skip that entire step of writing the bills out, and they'll go straight into their calendar. And they'll pretty much put all of their bills on the dates that they're due and add in the amount that that bill is going to cost. And then they'll start doing their budget for the month. But me, I like to kind of see what's coming out each day. And it just gives me like a quick glance, a quick overview. And so I'll go ahead and show you what that process looks like. So this is what my calendar looks like. And the first thing I'm going to point out is the color differences. Now me, I like all of my bills to be on auto pay because I'm a very forgetful person, and if they are not on auto pay, I'm going to rack up late fees. So I have all of these that's on auto pay in green, and then anything that I have to physically pay myself is marked in pink. And so as you can see, out of all of these bills, there's only 3 here that's marked in pink. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and actually start planning out or mapping out my actual budget. So in the essence of time, I already went ahead and filled out all of my expenses. I'll do some final calculations with you guys and kind of walk you through my process and how I set up my budget using this template here. But one of the first things I do is calculate my income. And one tip I will give you as far as income is concerned, when you calculate your income, only include the income that you know you're going to get that month. So if you have income that's unreliable, do not include that income. You would rather be over budget than under budget. So you would rather have more than enough money than not enough money. One good thing about budgeting is it's fluid. It's not a static thing. You can change it at any time. So if at some point you do receive that unreliable money, you can go back and make edits to your budget at that time. And if you are new to my budgeting videos, I do have a 2-income household. So both my husband and I do have a full-time income. And then we also get reimbursed for childcare through the flex spending account we have. And so this is the income here, $62.54. And I do share my real numbers. I share my real income with you guys because I just believe in transparency. I feel like people can learn more by seeing the whole entire picture. And quite honestly, it's not even about how much money you have or how much money you make, but what you do with the money that you do get. And I can tell you right now that some people with lower income than ours are probably living better than we do, because of the simple fact that we have a lot of debt and we have a lot of expenses. The next thing I do is our savings. So me and my husband are both doing a savings challenge this year, and I did make a video showing you guys some different challenges that you can do in 2020 to save money all year long, and I also let you know what challenges me and my husband were doing. So if you want to see that video, make sure you go check that one out after you watch this one. I'm going to link it in the cards and in the description. But we have $320 going to savings, and then I get to my living expenses. And one of the big changes that we're going to have as far as the February budget is concerned is my rent. I was paying $815 in rent, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we are moving, and it's been hard trying to find another apartment with a deal as good as we were getting. For the area that we live in, rent is usually over $1,000 for a safe apartment. And so, even though we don't exactly know where we're going, I am budgeting $1,050, and I'm hoping to stay around there. And then I just have my regular expenses: electricity, storage, my internet, Phone. This is another thing that's changing. My daughter really wanted a phone, so she's getting a cheap Straight Talk phone as well. Netflix, Hulu, State Farm, which is our insurance, our car insurance, as well as our rental insurance, and then tumbling and our business expenses. So that comes to $18.77. And one thing I did forget to mention as far as the savings, I calculate my savings right after the income because I truly believe that you should pay yourself first. I don't think that you should wait until after all the bills are paid, then worry about savings, because you work too hard to not have anything to show for it. So you really need to put priority in savings. Even if you can't save that much, save something and let it build and build and build. But the next thing I do is my debt. So as you can see, this is all of our debt expenses that we have. And I separated our debt expenses from our living expenses because this kind of is like a reality check for me. So every single month that I'm doing my budget, I'm seeing how much I'm paying to debt each month. And it's kind of like a kick in the butt. Like, do what you need to do so you can get out of debt, because all of this money right here can be going to savings. It can be going towards investments, vacations. We're paying almost $2,000 in debt payments. And I do plan on documenting my debt-free journey on this channel. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe. I already did a video sharing how much debt we released in 2019. After I calculate my income, savings, and then my regular, basically my fixed expenses, then I see what's remaining. So I'm going to bring out the calculator. So that is 6254 minus 320 minus 1877 minus 1849. And that is 2208. So I'll put that here in remaining. So basically that's telling me that for my cash expenses, my additional debt, and sinking funds, I have 2208 to work with. Now, as far as my cash expenses, we do use cash envelopes, which I have enjoyed switching over to pretty much mostly cash, mostly all cash. But I do take $25 for household, which is pretty much all detergent, toilet paper, things of that nature. I budget $400 for groceries. And then car gas is $340, and this is for 2 cars. Me and my husband do drive quite a bit to get to our jobs. And then childcare is $300, but again, this is going to be reimbursed to us. Soccer, and then PE and allowance. So those expenses comes to $1285. So the next thing I'll do is go ahead and deduct the cash expenses from that remaining balance, which will end up giving me $923. I really need a pen with an eraser, but I just love these G2 pens. But I make so many mistakes when I'm doing my budget. I really need one that has an eraser. So if you guys have any recommendations, leave me a comment below and let me know of some good, nice writing pens that have an eraser to it. But anyway, so $923, and then I do my debt and then sinking funds. Pretty much my goal each month is to try to put at least an additional $500 towards our debt each month. And I'm able to do that because I'm just going to use the $300 from here, and then basically came up with an extra $200 within our budget. So that's $500. So quick calculation, that's going to be $423. And that tells me that I have $423 left to work with as far as my sinking funds are concerned. Now, for my sinking funds, I have car maintenance, homeschool, my daughter's birthday, and gifts. This is not gifts for her birthday, but rather gifts if they're like invited to a birthday party throughout the year. And I'm really frugal when it comes to birthday gifts. I will make $10 and $20 stretch real far. But also professional, I do have to renew my license for my job or for my career this year, and so I'm saving up for that. as well as property tax and then car insurance. So that totals out to $345. And if I deduct that from the $423 that was remaining, I'm left with $78. Now, normally I would be trying to do a zero-based budget because that is how I budget. I don't like to have any money left over. I want every dollar to have a purpose. And if $78 is going to have a purpose, because of the simple fact that we are moving, and right now we don't pay for water where we are, but water is an expense that we're going to have to pay for once we move. And so I don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but I'm just going to put this $78 basically into like an envelope, a sinking fund for that first bill for the water. So we're not caught off guard and, not too much of a hit to our budget. So I'm just going to make a note here. I'll just write remaining 78 to water bill. Alright, so the last thing I do is just put this into my actual Happy Planner, and that is my process for budgeting. Now, if you enjoy budgeting videos, make sure you like this video. But I want to know if we share any similarities in how we budget. So do you do anything that I do as far as your budget? I mean, I know everybody comes up with their income, but as far as the process is concerned, let me know in the comments below what your process kind of consists of. You don't have to write a whole paragraph, but just, give me some pointers, give me some tips. The last thing I'll say about this one too is actually after we pay these, I try my hardest to put a check mark by them. And then once it actually leaves my account, I'll go ahead and circle it so that I know that the money has actually came out of my account. But if you enjoy content like this, subscribe to the channel and keep being intentional, guys. Until next time, bye.